Good day, my good people. How are you doing today? Welcome to Mindset Transformation Africa. My name is Michael Ojuola, and on today's episode of Daily Mind Shift, I want to just give a piece of advice. In a couple of minutes, I'm done. Just give a piece of advice. See, sometimes it's very necessary for you to disconnect. Sometimes it's very vital for your physical health, for your spiritual health, and for your mental health, all right? It's important for you to learn from telecommunication and disconnect. If, for example, you're calling someone and the network is not really clear and you're getting some crackling sounds, your communication with the other party is not flowing the way you want it to flow. You're always saying, hello, can you hear me? The other person is always saying, yes, I can hear you. Or can you hear me too? There is a back and forth like that. What do? You disconnect. Or if someone and you're on a call with someone and your vibes, you guys are not really feeling each other, but the energy there is negative and thick and dark and all that, what do? You disconnect. If someone calls you and you knew quite all right that we don't know each other, right? And it's a mistaken call, or it's, what do we say here in the part of the world in Nigeria here? We say wrong number and we disconnect. Exactly what I'm saying that you should learn from telecommunications, all right? When there are times in your life, right, that you need to disconnect. You need to learn how to disconnect from negative power over you. You need to learn how to disconnect from some people's narcissistic attitude towards you. You need to learn how to disconnect from people that will want to drain your time, energy, and resources. You need to learn how to sometimes disconnect. So you need to look at your life today, especially today, and you can take it to tomorrow, next tomorrow, till we check out of this life. You need to be intentional about your time, all right? Guard your time. Negative people can monopolize your time. You need to learn how to guard your time. You need to also learn, this is one of the ways you can disconnect. When you learn how to guard your time, when you are very conscious of guarding your time and attention, whenever people bring a set of attitude, a set of vibe that is not yours, that you don't want within your immediate attention span, you disconnect. You can candidly tell them, see, I'm not feeling you. Let us not talk about this again. Can we talk about some other things? Or can we talk some other time? All right. That's one of the ways for you to disconnect. By guarding your time, you learn how to disconnect. Another way you can also learn how to disconnect is choosing your attitude. So if people are giving you some negative vibe, you can choose positive. All right, you can create some mantras like I'm going to stay positive today despite the people around me. When you repeat that to yourself, you remind yourself your objective for today. I am going to stay positive despite the people around me. That is a form of disconnection. That is a form of disconnection. Another way for you to disconnect, that you can also learn to disconnect, is refocusing your thoughts. Getting your thoughts back on track, making a conscious effort to reduce the amount of mental energy that you spend on negative people or negative circumstances. You choose making a very conscious effort to reduce the amount of mental energy. Many of you need to disconnect from that particular social media app for a while. Some will have to do it permanently, some is for a while, because it's draining your mental energy. Check your feelings, okay? Whenever you're on that site, whenever you're on that website, on that particular WhatsApp group, on that particular Twitter feed, on that Instagram feed, whenever you are there, how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel when you are there? You need to pay attention
to how your thoughts change when you are faced with negative people, when you are faced with negative circumstances. You need to pay very critical attention to that. Many of us are not even aware. When you now get home, for example, in the evening, your mood have swung. You'll now be wondering, how did I get here? When and how did my mood just get messed up? What happened to me? See, if someone or some people that care about you now ask you what's wrong with you, you don't even know what. You don't even know when. You don't know how anything that happened to you happened. I'm telling you, this is how it might happen. Over the course of the day, you did not pay attention to the amount of mental energy you gave to negative people. You did not take cognizance of the amount of mental energy you give to negative talks, you give to negative circumstances. Do you understand my point now? So that is one way for you to choose and disconnect. Like I said earlier, this is the point of this whole discourse. This is the point of this whole podcast. This is the point of this episode. Sometimes it's very necessary for you to disconnect. You need to keep your own power. You need to learn how to keep your own power. Make a choice and a decision. All right? It's a decision. Remove all sentiments and prioritize caring for yourself. Oh, he's my friend from childhood, but he's draining you. Some will even say we've been together for over 40 years, but she's draining you. Make a decision to hold on to yourself and your power and refuse to allow a negative situation, negative circumstances, or even a negative person, no matter who that person is, to own you. All right, whether that person is your brother, whether that person is your sister, your wife, your husband, your father, your mother, your siblings, your friend of 79 years, no matter who that person is, so far your relationship is not healthy, it is your sacred duty to yourself and to the universe to keep your own power, to hold on to yourself and your personal power. All right, so as we wrap up this episode, I want you to remember this, okay? I want you to remember this. Sometimes it's very necessary for you to disconnect. Sometimes it's very necessary for you to disconnect. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Thank you for listening to me, and I will talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.